it's an important time we are in right now, considering Instagram, how it's going, account bans, links issues, and the most important, let's say, subject to all of this comes down obviously to content branding, and where I see Instagram myself, let's say at the end of the year or maybe at the start of the year. Okay, so we'll talk about kind of 4 or 5 different points. And first, obviously, I want to get into what my opinion and what is really happening, in terms of Instagram right now, with all the kind of issues and my kind of reason why to it's happening. It's obvious, like, I don't think, it's 100% right what is happening, and that's the reason. But this is kind of my theory behind it. Okay, so the Instagram bubble has popped, or it's about to pop. This is kind of like the main topic of today, and I'll run you through obviously how to stay safe, etc. What my kind of thoughts on this situation are. So who am I? I'm Emil. If you guys obviously don't know my name, I've been in this industry for around 4 years now. We started immediately from Instagram, TikTok back in the day. So when it comes to organic traffic, I would say I have a little bit of experience on. We grow models from zero. We've also taken on influencers already coming to us with personal brands, and also completely rebranding them to something new and growing new accounts also for them with a complete different strategy. We are an agency that is only TikTok, Instagram, and Threads focused. We used to do a little bit of Reddit at the start of my OF journey, but it wasn't anything at a large scale. We did fuck around with a little bit of black hat dating apps, but also not to a scale where we currently run Instagram. And yes, like as you see on the last point, I was one of the speakers at the Dubai meetup in Dubai. That was in December, I think, that I remember. Hopefully you guys also were at the Germany meetup. I'm sure that went well, as every event that Rico and Sam organize is top notch. So I'm very happy that, they are in the industry. All right, but let's stay on track, right? The bubble has popped / it's about to pop. What we are seeing right now, in my eyes, is we are seeing more accounts created than ever before. We are seeing more models than ever before. And then we are also seeing AI models and AI accounts. And the reason why we are seeing, let's say, more models is because we are now having an easier access, or especially with the new coming agencies, marketplaces, salary models, Colombian models, Argentinian models. I feel like that is still a popular kind of thing where agency push towards, is because, that's the easiest way to get a model. And then they go with the easiest platform, let's say Instagram, and they set up, accounts. They try to replicate OF trends, etc. And that's obviously my reason behind it too. We're seeing such an overflood of this. And not only that, is obviously the AI accounts and the AI models, okay? And I will also talk about that a little bit later on, what my thoughts are behind it. There is a little bit of obviously positives and negatives to it. And the positive to the AI accounts is obviously that you don't have to rely on your model's content when you're posting on Instagram. It can be really automated. It can run on autopilot. You can run multiple accounts because you don't have to, of course, rely on your model to film your real content, original content, and all of these accounts. But the reason why I believe that accounts are getting flagged so much easier and bans are, through the roof, is because of what we are seeing some of these AI accounts do, which is, in my opinion, of course, terminating the terms of services of Instagram, is that they steal, let's say steal. They take obviously real models' content. For example, I have seen this where a model speaks in the car, in a selfie way, talking about a sexual subject to get views, okay? And I've seen an AI model replicate that with claying or motion or, the AI tools to generate that. The same exact sound in terms of how the model sounds like, and obviously the same exact speaking script. Instagram has obviously picked that, and now has started to ban the account. So this is where my thoughts on kind of the AI and how to do it is on. And I hugely believe that this is one of the reasons why we are seeing so many bans and flags. And not only that, I don't think, maybe you probably guys remember, and if you've been in this industry for many years, everyone was doing TikTok at the start. You could post one reel or one TikTok video, get millions of views, boom, that's already like 100, 200 paid subscribers. That's already $2-3K in one day made, okay? Everyone done it, everyone overdone it. And this is what we are a little bit seeing with Instagram right now, but I don't think it's going to get to a point what happened with TikTok where it completely died. Because Instagram is overall too of a big platform, and one way or another, they still do make money from us as well, okay? So, for example, why Instagram might be targeting you, okay? And this is what also comes from my belief. It's not a fact, but obviously they want to target links specifically. And I believe it's links specifically is, of course, they want us to make less money from our models' accounts because they've seen how much money we're making from their app. And if they were really trying to make us disappear from Instagram in terms of it can be, any way possible to go viral again, then we just wouldn't get the views, okay? And that's also why they are banning us and flagging us. In my opinion, in terms of views-wise, in terms of viral-wise, it's been the easiest to do so, okay? But that's why I feel like they've not hit the switch on that just yet. Maybe it will come. And of course, they're flagging adult content, okay? So now we're coming to a point where, as you can maybe see, or maybe you guys experience this yourselves, I don't know if you guys manage, but I'm sure you do, tier A models, okay? High quality models where you don't necessarily have to create, let's say, the general OnlyFans trend for Instagram. I believe that Instagram really wants to remove kind of like the middle part of content creators for OnlyFans. So the salary models, the models that, let's say, are good looking, but the content is not the highest of qualities as possible. Maybe it's also, they cannot speak English, they cannot film, really like personality showing reels outside. That's what I've seen the most models being hit in terms of flags and accounts. The more sexual the content, the more direct OF the content, the more bans and flags I have seen. And the theory is, like I explained, is they still want us to the platform because, of course, they benefit from this. But ask yourself, why is it specifically the links that they're flagging? Because, of course, they want us to make less money from this. We also want to learn from what happened when TikTok problem arrived, when everyone was relying on it, when everyone was spamming it. Literally one day and gone, you couldn't go viral on TikTok anymore. And that's what we've seen a little bit happen with Get All My Links, where literally after one day, boom, we had to all change. Hopefully that just doesn't happen with our accounts, and in terms of going viral and not being able to get the views anymore. So what I'm trying to say is look for alternatives in terms of traffic sources. But the bigger picture is, when maybe we can also do like a little hands up after this point, is structure your agency that you are managing models that AI cannot replace. So personality behind them, potentially English speaking, and also content that, yes, again, AI cannot, let's say, you cannot generate with AI just yet. For example, model outside, just walking along the street, okay? Something like this, okay? Because we are entering now a platform cleanup before I'm sure a big shift will happen. So that's, before I continue, I want to ask all of you guys, or maybe some of you guys, you can unmute your mic. Put your hand up if, or you can say yes or no, if you right now manage a model that you would consider is, let's say, a tier A model. So like a high quality model. Okay. Good. So I'm guessing most of us. Okay. So if that's the case, then you guys are, let's say, still protected for a certain period of time where AI really cannot, replace you or anything when it comes to the agency. For today, I have kind of 4 points, 4 phases I would like to talk about, and the areas what we'll focus on is, of course, I won't dive into the basics of this, but I will a little bit touch on account setup. We'll dive heavily into, yes, branding and model talent. I have some practical, let's say, slides or practical examples of what I want to show you guys. Number 3, the link situation, link strategy. And yes, number 4 is live examples of, let's say, before and after models accounts of how they would look if I was working with them, okay? So in my opinion, aged accounts are considered better than creating completely fresh accounts when it comes to Instagram. When we created fresh Instagrams from scratch, is we seen they tend to be much more sensitive. They tend to get banned a lot more faster. And if you actually see on this fresh Instagram account that at the top of the profile picture, this happens sometimes, most of the times, that obviously you get the new icon. And this has actually been proven by us. We done split tests where the conversion was actually lower with this account, okay? Not only that, when we used to create fresh accounts, I remember we had the cleanest setup in terms of we were creating them with mobile data. And every time we used to create one Instagram account, we would put the phone into airplane mode on. And I don't know about other SIMs, but I know in the UK, is that when you put the phone into airplane mode on, after 10, 15 seconds, it actually gives you a different IP. So we were doing that when we were creating our accounts. But still, once we created our 4th account and then we tried to create the 5th account, we just ran into problems like, for example, the page is not available, okay? And this was my biggest reason I moved over to aged accounts. Now, I've spoken to a lot of agency owners the past couple of weeks, or just even seen in the group chats, I woke up today with 30 account bans. Does anyone have a solution to the fraud and deception bans, X, Y, and Z? The first step that you can do is switch to blank aged accounts and seeing if that will help you. The reason why I believe that will help you is just, logical. The account has already been active for 5 years, 4 years, or whatever, or whenever it was created. And what I believe, that if an Instagram account, especially when freshly created, goes viral too quickly, Instagram doesn't like that and shuts it down. You get hit with more flags, or potentially you get faster bans, okay? So this is why I would change from using fresh accounts to aged blank accounts. And before we move on, what I also want to touch on is your guys' in terms of phone setup, okay? Also, I don't want to get into VPNs, proxies. Everyone has their own setup, and I believe if something works for you, or I guess working for you, still dealing with bans, then that's okay. But lower the amount of accounts you have on each phone. Go with 2 accounts per phone. Invest a little bit more money into more phones, and see if that works. Or if you really want to be on the safer side and you know that something actually works, go maybe try find your own remote control, or buy a service that has the remote control feature where all of their phones are set up with a individual SIM card. They're not on the same Wi-Fi or router, if obviously you cannot experiment with that. And now okay, you're running a clean setup. I will just try with 2 accounts and with aged accounts as well, and see if that has a lower chance of your accounts getting banned. I will just put a snus in 1 minute, boys. And yes, moving on to branding and the right talent. It's good that majority of the people in this call, like I would expect anyway, high agency owners have, tier A, let's say, I call it talent, okay? But the real question is obviously, if Instagram account would ban all of your Instagram accounts today, right now, how long would it get you to get back and going again in terms of driving the same traffic you're driving with these accounts? Like, I'm not saying Instagram is of course turning into Blackout or some type of dating app, but like that's what some agencies have faced, where 90% of their traffic has of course gone down. And that's what also I want you to look at in your agency, where you are constantly setting up and creating new accounts each day. Even if they're just sitting there and waiting to be replaced, that's fine. But you rather be safe than sorry. You rather be protected than not even trying to face what's currently happening. And of course, I understand, so everyone also has this problem where models don't film enough content for you to post on 5 accounts with a complete different content strategy. This I understand, but what I'm just trying to say is just to start building in the background as a little side task to what you're currently doing. Maybe also, like I said, setting up a few more phones, constant new accounts in the pipeline, just for them to be ready and to get going, okay? And of course, let's say 70–80% right now of agency owners are struggling with Instagram. Even with myself, it's not like this has been a steady journey, especially the past couple months. No, it's also been bumpy for me. So don't think I'm some god and I have some trick, because some things I cannot also prevent what is happening on Instagram. But I believe that the agencies that have not seen the most struggle right now are the ones with the tier A creators, are the ones who have just set up their Instagram account model's branding to where she's judged, let's say, or looked at as a content creator and does just OnlyFans on the side. So agencies with English-speaking creators, creators who can film more lifestyle and yet situational content, content that's sexual but not OF in your face, skits, real life scenarios, outdoor content, and also content, for example, where there is collabs with maybe non-OF creators. And the last one, brands, is a very important one as well. Now, we will touch on the live examples, what I have for you guys today, but brands is obviously the most difficult one to replicate, especially, for any type of model, I believe. So that's obviously one that most agencies don't have, and rather have obviously just the first maybe 4 or 5 points, like the skits, real life scenarios, etc. That they're good. So keep going in that direction. In terms of brands, for example, even just adding a brand to the creator, for example, if it's a very big Instagram account, she now starts streaming on kick.com. Okay. And on kick.com, that's where she shows her, let's say, brand, right? And from there, you can monetize it. Also, link situation. I don't want to cover it too much, but everyone has experienced this issue. Everyone has faced flags from links, even myself, the past couple of days, even when link.me put out the message where, be safe, guys, we're updating to X, Y, and Z. A couple of days ago, boom, flag for obviously like the profile flag, showing the profile picture, the bio, the link. Okay. The issue with this is, again, there is no real fix and solution to this, like the fraud and deception bans, okay? It's individual to your specific Instagram account. Agency A might have a link.me issue, but beacons will work as a solution. But agency B has a beacons issue and link.me works, okay? And I'm sure you guys have done this, but test what works for your accounts. Maybe already Rico and Sam gave you guys, or you guys in general talked about some other providers or solutions to this. But my case on this would be, one, see what works for you in terms of if link.me is still working, fine. If not, then just go with a low key provider, not as exposed as link.me has gotten. Get all my socials, Linktree, Beacon, or the best setup that you should maybe also invest in if you're not an expert in is trying to build everything yourself. Building a custom domain, the SSL certificate, the landing page where you do the deep linking yourself, you do the direct kind of open in the other external browser yourself, everything coded yourself. That might be the best solution for you when it comes to this situation right now. What has been helping though is obviously the vanilla landing page where, I've seen also a couple of models accounts where they still have that bikini photo in the landing page. They still have the OF logo. I would remove all of that stuff. Keep it really, let's say, low key, chill, like cozy type of vibes, just girly type of vibes landing page. And of course, when I came into this industry, this is something that I avoided, is not adding any other social media platforms into the landing page. So obviously the audience or the guy who's on the landing page cannot get distracted. But right now, in this case, I would advise you to just also make it that it's not directly showing Instagram that you're only trying to get OnlyFans subscribers. So maybe include your Snapchat, include your Twitter account, and just keep it like, hidden in terms of, for example, link.me. You can put it as like the small emoji, and the direct kind of like picture with the OF is still at the top and the main funnel for them to click. This is my take on the link situation. So yes, now we're kind of more on the practical side of things, where I'm gonna dive deeper into branding for, let's say, how the Instagram feed should look like, not going into the Reels grid, and then obviously talking about the Reels content. And then also in the second picture, I have maybe a couple of examples, I think 2 or 3 of examples, fully AI accounts, where I believe this is kind of the best thing that's converting as of now. Because if you probably know, or you have started doing AI, like you've seen, views is not the problem. What the problem is on these AI accounts I am seeing is that people go viral, but they go viral and they're still stuck at 2K followers, 3K followers, only maybe 20, 30 clicks on the OF from these viral reels, which obviously is a big issue. So I will now change the screen share to some of Instagram accounts where we can look at more in depth. Hold on. Okay, let's just do it like this. You can see the account. Perfect. You can see, yes. Let me just X this. All right, cool. So here we see, obviously, I'm guessing a Colombian creator, Argentinian creator, let's say not a tier A creator. I also think it's very important to touch on this a little bit, is because I think this creator has potential to do well on Instagram, and maybe it is the case that one of you guys are managing a similar creator, or a creator in the same bracket of, from a third world country. Okay, so what we want to analyze first, or how I usually do it, is I always like to look at the feed. And the first initial kind of reaction I'm getting from this account is, yes, this is a fitness creator. She likes the gym. She's fit. Obviously, she suits that vibe and she suits that style, which, sure, I would continue to push that type of content out. All right. Although what I'm seeing is one pinned post, which this looks pretty good, shows off her body in a bikini, etc. But we want to show obviously more of her face, and also we want to show more of, let's say, general photos of her, as we can see the first couple of posts are. I would for sure pin a few of these photos to the top of the profile, but what I would also add, and I would do this for any type of account, because like I said before, we want to now let Instagram know that this is a real girly account rather than a managed agency account. Okay, and what we can see here in the highlights, what she actually done well, to be honest, is, aesthetic photos like this. She's got the weights, she's got the pink headphones, the pink bands, the water bottle, etc. And the second story is, cardio, she's on the treadmill, whatever. Third story is, her leg, amazing, the shoes, the weights. But the thing what I would do right now is, instead of just posting these in the highlights, I would actually post these on the feed. So there's 2 ways you can do this. One way is obviously in a carousel way, where, one photo is, let's say, her in the gym, and then the second photo is this, and then the third photo is maybe another picture of herself, or another kind of aesthetic photo. Now, an example what I want to show you guys is this creator does it well, where you can, you can see kind of her vibe, you can see kind of quote unquote the branding, and then, selfie photos, picture photos, and boom, here we go. We click and look how girly this looks. She's got her golden pen, she's got a notebook where she's writing her goals for May, something like this. Exactly what a girl would do. And of course, I don't know what drink this is. Let's say it's a matcha, okay? Every girl drinks matcha. And this just gives a whole different type of vibe to this account and making it seem like it's real, okay? Another photo of, all her clothes in the wardrobe, and you can now base it off what type of style she has. This is what the first thing is I would do when it comes to the profile grid of this page. Now, the most important part is obviously the reels, okay? What this creator is posting, what I would do better, how I could basically, fix the views on this account is the first thing. She's trying, or the agency behind this are trying too hard of, the 2007, 5'2", 120 pounds. They're trying too hard to brand her as just a normal OF type of chick, okay? It's a huge plus that this model does, or she goes to the gym every single day, because to be honest, it would be quite hard if she did not like to go to the gym and for me to really brand this type of creator, especially, if she doesn't have access to things or she cannot speak English, okay? But for example, let's just take a look at this video, okay? So the main point of this video is, okay, let's say her ass, but PVO 5'2" in a gym. It's pretty boring. She only does 1 rep anyway, and that's about it, okay? How I would spin this reel to make it way better is a few ways, right? First thing, I would make it a little bit longer. And as we can see, this model is, of course, showing off her ass and doing a back exercise. So maybe the POV, instead of this, I would make it related POV, today is back day. And back in, for example, UK slang, is also a word for ass, okay? And now you're gonna get her to film, let's say 4 or 5 different quote unquote back exercises. So the lat pull down, I don't know what other, whatever back there is exercises. But when she does the other exercises, is yet again, the ass, the back quote unquote is the main point of the video. Where, to be honest, it starts off well, but doesn't really have anything to do with the video. It's boring. The POV caption on the screen is not really hitting. And that's what I would do. Make it a little bit more enthusiastic and make it, let's say, still related about the ass. And for example, the POV, today is back day. At the end, you can add a peach emoji to really let the guys understand what, the model is trying to come across in the video. And as we can see, this model has just a lot of, captions on the text, like, could I be your gym crush? And it's just kind of like, showing her looks, showing her body. Very boring. Basically, in my opinion, this account is not going to go anywhere, no matter how many times and for how long they would post, okay? So a few examples, or a few other models examples that do gym content very well, and what I would take specifically for this creator, how I would make it better. First thing is, what we can see is, of course, she doesn't have an issue filming at the gym. Maybe this gym is like a private gym in the apartment. which is great, right? As we can see, yeah, there is a garden in the backyard. So maybe it's owned by her, right? So this creator does a lot of kind of gym content, but in a gymnastics way. A lot of stretching, maybe poses that might be too hard for that creator. But now, for example, this type of video, okay? Hold on. All right, let me refresh. What we see here is, I don't know why this is not playing. Okay. Okay, doesn't matter. For example, let's say this type of video, okay? Rather than her just, stretching like this, let's say nearly doing the splits, what I would get this creator to do, this Lana creator, maybe when she's squatting with the weight, get her to really just open the legs up and to really show a lot of, let's say, the butt, rather than just trying to go with the average type of Barbie gym girl type of captions vibe where nothing's really happening in the video. Because you have to choose. You either continue doing this and, not going anywhere, or you make the content really interesting for the guy to, wow, me watching that, I'm getting crazy, for him then to subscribe and to go viral. Maybe, okay, increasing a chance to get banned more, i.e. the content is too sexual. But these are some great ideas for the model to do so. Now, yeah, again, I wouldn't like copy exactly the type of stretches, because I believe this account is more related in that type of vibe. But I would get her to start doing exercises, actually using the gym, show the audience that, it's actually a real gym girl, but making it a little bit now sexual. And moving forward, a perfect example, this is what I'm meaning about it's a real gym girl, okay? Here we are seeing a little bit more brand. She's just putting on a weight, and oops, she accidentally bent over and the steel bar went a little bit in her ass, okay? Boom. You just created now a viral video just by putting the weights on the machine. You can now recreate this type of video with anything. For example, making a little bit more related to the OF scene or an OF type of content is, the tricep extension bar type of thing, and how it has like these two balls at the end. Get her to hold them and start kind of like stroking it a little bit, how it would be, let's say, a cock and balls. But to not make it just only that, get her to actually then do a few reps of the tricep extension machine, okay? Here we see a little bit more of a sexual reel, but I still believe it's working extremely well, or it would work extremely well. Like she cannot obviously put in the weight on the bar. She's struggling, and then she spits on it, and then it goes in. Okay. Even what I would do a little bit better is first get the model to spit on it, then get her hand to kind of spread the spit on the bar, and then put in the weight. Right? There is so many different examples or ideas for this model to really utilize the equipment in the gym for her to make the reels actually interesting and for the guys to relate to, because no one is going to relate. They're talking behind your back and then her ass just being in the picture. And I feel like that's what, majorities of agencies do when managing this caliber of creators. Okay. Like, for example, I had it here. I've got something no other girl has. Like what I'm confused. What does she not? What does she have that other girls don't? Like, that's the point. Like, I'm really trying to make with this. And yeah, it's obviously a little bit sad to see because there is so many ideas, so many examples of other creators, not even like let's say, fully gym creators still replicating this content. Like, as you can see, this model, of course, is a little bit fitness based, but the rest of her content is not in the gym. Okay. Moving forward, I want to touch obviously on the AI accounts. This is an AI account that surprised me the most. And this is the only strategy I would do when it comes to AI Reels. What have I seen examples of other AI accounts is, for example, just very generic, where the model is holding the phone in the mirror, she's filming herself, she's doing a little, I don't know, dance or twirl, and then it's just obviously like a caption on the screen, like a clickbait type of caption or something the guys can relate to. It doesn't convert, it doesn't get the subs. And I'm not against obviously AI content or running hybrid in terms of AI Reels and real OF models, because it helps us, right? Like I explained in terms of getting the content issue for the models. But let's take a more of a look on what this creator done exactly from the start. Okay, so yes, this is, for example, what I've seen a lot, or not even this, even a little bit worse. Like, for example, it's just a couple of pictures, like for when I'm dating a man my age, and then the second type of, yeah, and then it transitions to whatever the picture is, but it's just a picture. This type of content is not the way to go for it. It's not going to get subscribers. This is, for example, a trend that a lot of agency owners with the real models have done in the past. Okay, now we're getting a little bit better in terms of the AI content. Okay, this is obviously a very old trend. It works extremely well, and this is all fully AI generated, and it looks extremely well and real. Okay, now we're getting a little bit more advanced. Oh no, nah, it's not this one. It's just a song over it. Yeah, this is where it gets crazy.
We can go to subs, I think.
I
don't know if you wanted to
play. Okay. I did, but okay, it doesn't really matter because but she's what the point is, she's speaking in the video. Now I don't think it's still possible to create it in terms of with your own AI and with the own AI voice, or maybe if you can get your model just to record the voiceover script. But in terms of like the realness of it, she's in the car, she's having a conversation with the guy, and basically what the model is saying, she's saying, okay, whip it out. Like, we're here, whip it out now. And then the guy is like, oh, why? Because just do it. That's what is going to work. And that's what I believe is the best way to go with the AI. And again, we are seeing the sad reality trend where she's just, let's say, jerking the guy off. But this model actually transitioned to a majority of just speaking content in the car. And yeah, this is where I would go with it with the AI. So another account, which this obviously is an account where takes viral videos and then with cling motion, or the motion type of feature, just basically puts their model to recreate with their face on it. So this is what some of the AI accounts have been doing, where on every single each video the voice is different, and it sounds like crazy or looks crazy, to be honest. But yeah, as you can see, the views on some of the videos are pretty good. So like, for me, just to even play one,
Again, your phone's in your left hand. Again. Well, don't stop. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. That's it. Keep going.
Yeah, exactly. So there is so many different speaking ways in terms of let's say even niches that you can do it. And like when it comes to the AI, especially if you're going to do it like this way, then I would only stick to one type of way, because what we see on this account is now, you've seen this slow, quiet vibe speaking type, and now we have
and he's getting things warmed up, and then I reach over to return the favor and he's already a rock. That makes my pink taco fucking purr. He's initiating.
Yeah, so this obviously was a good one, but it just, in terms of comparing it voice wise and how it sounds is not the best. But the comment that I can say is this is what you guys should push, especially if you don't have English speaking models, especially if your models cannot feel comfortable in speaking. This is the type of strategy that I would run when having the AI on lock, like literally down to a T, where you can create the model fucking doing anything, which I believe will be possible in the future anyway. Okay. Also, yeah, again, another account where the model, for example, has only started to do the type of clickbait captions, and it's just maybe like a photo of the AI model on the screen. Like, for example, yeah, she doesn't speak in it. It's just she's looking, whatever, she's in the car, or majority of the times it's just the model is in the mirror of the screen, and then you have 1, eat, 2, say hi, 3, this pink, da 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 da. This is something that, as you can see, still gets the views, but in my opinion, only being at 1,000 followers from this many views, we can see it doesn't make money. So I also don't want you to have this in your mind where, you're seeing the AI work so good in terms of getting views, going viral, but majority of these accounts, models, are not really making that much money as it seems. That's when it comes to this. Okay, cool. Here are, I have one, two, a couple of models, but I feel like we should touch on this model before we wrap it up, and that's because this might be more related to you guys, more specific in terms of, I would classify this as, let's say, this creator going on the urge to being a tier A creator. Okay, so in this case, we see 110K followers. We see the creator is good looking, she's young, blonde, basically has, all the right features to do very well on Instagram. And yes, the same thing applies to what applies on this model, the aesthetic vibe, adding these unique type of pictures. For example, you're drinking a coffee, you have an almond croissant, you've got your snus in the background, you take a nice photo, you put the little brightness down to make it darker. That's exactly what we want to do, for the models. Okay, but now what we're seeing when we go on her reels, in my opinion, 100K followers, we should be seeing reels with way more views. Okay, a couple things have happened in my opinion. So first thing is, obviously this account is already established. Instagram does prefer new Instagram accounts in terms of, Instagram accounts starting, let's say, from 0 or like at least like 1-2K followers. It promotes them significantly harder to this account where you've already reached a certain amount of followers. It's just a fact. Second thing is, I feel like the audience of these accounts, or specifically on this account, has just died down. Okay, the model hasn't done anything a little bit different. It's kind of always the same vibe. Maybe the 100K followers have just got bored and just completely don't want to interact with her content. And that's what we're kind of seeing, 5K views, 0 comments, 65 likes, 0 comments. That is, in my opinion, a bad sign. Okay, and what I would do when it would come to this specific creator is, of course, a couple of things. The first thing is, what she does well is, for example, where is the video? For example, like this, okay? This is too OnlyFans related in terms of trend-wise, okay? How I would do it is like a little, not in a day in a life, but like, for example, you even put on the caption description on the text is, for example, come with me, or get ready with me to go to my job interview, okay? Or some come with me, or like office days, or something like this, something related to, of course, the outfit, what she's wearing. And instead of her showing off each item that she's going to put on, and then we have this loading screen type of vibe, record the model with little short snippets of her actually putting the clothes on, the shirt, the little tight black short skirt. And what's very important is I would also get the model to sit down on the chair when she's putting on the stockings, and make her do it in a more of a sexual way whilst looking at the camera and putting on the stockings. Because here we can just see, she's showing it off and then she immediately jumps it in. It's kind of boring. We've seen it already with thousands of models replicating this. But this is what I believe this type of example could work extremely better, and still kind of doing the same type of reel with her, okay? But other than that, like, for example, also, what I want you guys to try out, even if your model isn't English, isn't from the US, but can speak, like, let's say good English, like, for example, here. Yes, this video.
How I built this by eating this.
Yeah. What the point of this, what I'm trying to make, is test some reels where the model just speaks English and, of course, makes it specific to what we want to post, and seeing how it works, seeing if it attracts really, let's say, American audience or English audience or tier 1 countries, or it just completely sends the video off. Because I feel like with speaking reels as of now, it's not been easier to go viral, to get views, to get subs on Instagram. And for example, adding features like this one, where she speaks and she takes off the panties whilst obviously speaking to the camera, is also a very huge plus when it comes to this. What also you can do a little bit differently, instead of taking off the panties, where I've seen a lot of the times, is the model starts talking. Once she starts talking, she comes into the frame. Instead of the panties being taken off, she kind of like puts the t-shirt up and then starts holding the boobs, and then finishes what she was speaking about inside of the video, okay? And even the kind of action plan I would have for her is, 1, more speaking content, 1, maybe a little bit more outdoor content, and the third thing I would do is more kind of quality content, where we see, for example, like this is, amazing, like in terms of quality wise, in terms of like her brand. It's of course still sexual, but it's related to what she does on a daily basis, like and that's kind of like the way what I would want to replicate with this type of model right here. But yeah, that's it what I had for you guys today.